The spokesperson for the Southern Defense Forces, Vladyslav Voloshin, refuted information about enemy captures of territories in the Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia regions. According to him, the situation on the corresponding directions remains tense, but control over populated areas has not been lost. The information about territories captured by the enemy in the Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia regions does not correspond to reality. Indeed, the situation on the Oleksandrivske, Hulyaipilske and Orikhivskyi directions is quite tense. In the past day, almost 50 clashes with the enemy have been recorded. But the populated areas mentioned in the report are not under Russian control, Voloshin assured. In the Pavlivka area, fierce fighting continues. One of the Ukrainian heroic brigades is holding the line, while in the Plavni area fighting is ongoing, which is described as a gray zone. In their actions there are signs of criminal offenses, provided for by Art. 345 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, threats or violence against a law enforcement officer, and Art. 194 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, intentional destruction or damage to property. The corresponding reports have been sent to the National Police, Voloshin said. In the Primorsk area, the occupiers, using the former Kakhovka reservoir, are trying to penetrate the rear of Ukrainian positions through dense reeds and vegetation several meters tall, but the defense forces are destroying them. In the area of the settlement of Uspannivka, the enemy, by artillery fire, destroyed several positions, so our defenders had to withdraw deeper into the defense, but fights for the populated areas do not stop, Voloshin noted. In the past day in the south, the enemy lost more than 200 personnel, Voloshin summed up. He also noted that Russian forces have been trying to take advantage of the recent dense fogs in the Zaporizhzhia region to infiltrate Ukrainian positions, bypassing fortifications. However, Ukrainian troops are continuously conducting search and strike operations in these sectors, neutralizing enemy sabotage groups. Military expert, retired naval colonel of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Vladyslav Voloshin said that today, the main focus is on Pokrovsk, Myrnohrad, and Kupiansk. At the same time, the Russian army has achieved certain territorial gains and is advancing along the tri-border area of Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, and Zaporizhzhia regions. A few days ago, I spoke with the spokesman of the Southern Defense Forces of Ukraine, Colonel Vladyslav Voloshin, and he said that the situation is most challenging in eastern Zaporizhzhia. The enemy is advancing there, and fierce fighting rages on, the expert said. In terms of percentages, this sector of the front accounts for 13% of all enemy assault operations. Over the past week, up to 40% of the territory in this area, measured in square kilometers, has come under Russian control. So indeed, the enemy is making advances there. Despite intense fighting in the Pokrovsk area, the pace of Russian progress there is significantly slower than in eastern Zaporizhzhia, a region, the military expert notes, that receives little media coverage. It is absolutely crucial for us to stabilize the situation in this sector of the front, because the enemy advances here threaten not only the left flank of our southern Zaporizhzhia defenders but also those in the Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad areas. The enemy aims to seize control of key supply routes, since the stability of logistics directly determines the resilience of our defense, Voloshin says.
Ukraine's security service has reported significant battlefield gains in the Pokrovsk area, where its elite Alpha Special Operations Unit carried out a series of successful missions against Russian forces over the past month. According to the SBU's official statement, more than 1,500 Russian troops were eliminated in operations conducted by the Alpha unit around Pokrovsk and nearby settlements. Ukrainian Special Forces also destroyed 20 tanks, 62 armored vehicles and nearly 40 artillery systems, including multiple rocket launchers used to shell the city. The SBU noted that the Alpha Group intensified its presence on this front following an escalation in hostilities. They perform complex missions in the hottest zones, delivering precise strikes on enemy units, the agency said. To support Ukrainian drone attacks, the unit reportedly neutralized 18 Russian air defense and electronic warfare systems, opening corridors for unmanned strikes. In addition, Alpha forces conducted several raids behind enemy lines, destroying 3 large depots containing ammunition and fuel. Ukraine's military reported intense fighting in a part of the city vital for its logistics and stated that special forces, along with more weapons, were deployed there. The Russian Defense Ministry claimed to have cleared 35 buildings of Ukrainian soldiers and reported that they were surrounding Ukrainian forces near Kupiansk in the Kharkiv region. However, Ukraine denied that its troops were encircled in either location, and reports from both sides could not be verified. Capturing Pokrovsk could allow Russia to push towards Kramatorsk and Slovyansk. Ukrainian President Zelensky acknowledged the pressure on Pokrovsk, but emphasized that Russian troops do not control any district fully. He also visited troops in the area of Dnipropetrovsk, where Ukraine is mounting a counter-offensive. As Bild journalist and analyst Julian Robka explained in a commentary to Channel 24, Pokrovsk no longer serves as an important logistics hub as the main roads and rail access are blocked. However, the city remains symbolically significant for Ukraine, and its loss will be painful. At the same time, Pokrovsk's strategic value to the Russian army could prove significantly greater. According to Robka, the occupiers will be able to utilize the local infrastructure even in its devastated state. This includes the ability to hide in basements and cellars, station drone operators, and maintain certain logistical advantages. The analyst explained that Russian vehicles will be able to approach the city limits from the east. After that, everything necessary can be transported further on foot or at night. This will allow the enemy to remain less visible and continue offensive operations using the urban environment as cover. There, they'll be able to hide in basements and cellars, house their drone operators, or even improve logistics. Their vehicles will be able to approach the city line from the east. Then, they'll be able to move everything to the west on foot or in the dark, the analyst explained. The Independent previously reported that Russia had intensified its attempts to capture Pokrovsk, as the city is a key transport hub and opens the way for further advances on Kramatorsk and Slovyansk. Pokrovsk connects the Ukrainian-controlled areas of Donbass and is a crucial link in the defense of this area. Therefore, its loss could complicate Ukrainian logistics and create more advantageous positions for the Russians to advance deeper into the region.